Hi guys, it's Nyla Dar here from Love Now TV, helping you to transform fear to love through understanding yourself better and reminding you of all the possibilities that are available to you. In this video, I want to discuss the impact feelings like disappointment, hurt, and resentments have on our health and well-being, and how they also affect our relationships. So we grow up in our individual families, and we have a relationship with certain feelings. There are feelings that are allowed and there are feelings that are not allowed. So for example, in my family, we're quite vocal and expressive, and we share our opinions, strongly, and anger is very much allowed, okay? So, we haven't got a problem with being angry with each other or saying how we feel. And that's right across the board. We learned that from my grandfather, from my parents, and then, with each other. So in other families, anger may be a feeling that's not allowed. So it could be denied, it could be avoided, it could be suppressed. No right or wrong about which feelings are allowed or not. It's just it's a family thing. So in our families, like if we're talking to each other on the phone and one of us gets too heated up or is not listening or is going on too much, we don't think anything about just cutting them off, just switching the phone off. It's always like, I'm done. But, we get over it and we just start talking again. It's just the way it goes. So years ago, when I was going out with someone, So I was talking to the guy on the phone, and he was going on and labouring the point. And without thinking, I automatically just had enough and switched him off. I literally switched the phone off. And he was absolutely outraged. He couldn't believe that I dared to do that and that it was disrespectful and how and why and blah, blah. Now, in his family, his parents complained for hours. For a long time, they would go on, and people had to listen. They couldn't just walk away or that wasn't an option. So when I did what I did, it was like so alien to him and so wrong on so many levels that, obviously he reacted to it. Now, it's never about whose way is right or wrong, because quite frankly, neither of those ways are good ways of communicating. They're just like habitual, inherited ways that we can relate if we are not conscious of it, Like some people are taught in their families to hold grudges, and others just get over things and move on. So again, it's just what happens in your family. Now, once we do certain things, then we tend, and if we're not conscious of them, we'll tend to do them again and again. And like, for example, when I was a child, I was very shy and I didn't know how to express how I felt when I felt hurt or upset or disappointed. So what I would do is I would sulk. And my mum does that as well, but I would sulk, and that was how I silently communicated how I felt. But then I grew up and I could express myself, but I wasn't aware of what I did. I mean, I just became a professional sulker because, quite frankly, anything you do, good, bad, or ugly, you're going to get good at, okay? So I just got good at sulking. So I would sulk for days, weeks, months. And then when I understood I was feeling my own thinking further down the line, I was thinking, God, the only person who's suffering is me. The other person's doesn't give a damn about what they said or did. They're probably forgotten about it. But I might have ruminated, I might have analysed the situation, but I guarantee you that I relived it in my mind many, many times. Now, when we relive something, we're going to re-experience the feelings, and then will come along the stories. and we'll reinforce the stories, because that's what we do. Even if we don't feel good, the ego within us loves to be right. So before you know it, you're just confirming what you believed or thought, and you've got proof again that this is what happens to you. So it's not good for you, and it's not good for your future relationships, because you take that baggage with you if you've not let it go, and you could get easily triggered. You know, if you couldn't trust a guy once and now you're meeting someone else, you want to experience a nicer relationship, and you've got probably good intentions of that, but you might get triggered, and without realizing it, you know, you're now remembering what has happened, and before you know it, you're superimposing what happened to you on somebody else, and you're not seeing them. You're seeing just your story, and your story is, you know, brought up by memories, and memories are just thoughts that you've carried through time. They've gone, they're over, but you've held on to them. And the mind is designed to let them go. We're designed to let thoughts come and go. But when we don't know that, we hold on to those thoughts, we relive them, we re-energize them, we reinforce our stories, and then live in a much smaller, limited world, when actually we could let them go if we knew that. Now, the reason we do it is not because we're stupid, it's because there's a payoff. We get something out of holding on to them. Now, it varies what that could be. It could be you want it not to happen again. So you're preparing yourself to be more alert and aware. Or you think you can control the situation better if you remember all that. So you're coming from, innocently, you're coming from good intentions. But actually, in reality, you're just strengthening the memory. You're strengthening the feelings. You're strengthening the story. And you're going to suffer. Nobody else, because they don't know what you're silently thinking, but you do. And you're going to suffer unnecessarily. So it's good to recognize that that's happening inside you, by you, and not the other person. And what you do with it is within you to have other choices. So the other thing I observed recently is that my mother is forgetting a lot of things, but she doesn't seem to forget her hurts, her sadness, and her regrets about certain aspects of her life. Those she remembers very strongly, and then she naturally, as she relives those thoughts and experiences, feels sad, feels upset and hurt, and feels regret. And I thought, well, how does that work? How is it she's remembering, not remembering so much, and then remembering the shitty stuff? Like, how's that happening? And I realized it's because she's relived those memories, those experiences over and over again. And they've become entrenched in her mind and her memory, and she's archived them, okay? So when she gets triggered, the reference points just brings back the old hurts, the old regrets, the old upsets, and she's back there. Now, personally, I don't need another reason to let go of disappointments, hurts, and resentments, because I've done it all my life. And quite frankly, I wish somebody had told me this earlier, you know, and told me, Nyla, you know, you don't need to sulk, let it go. Who gives a damn? That person isn't thinking about it. You know, it's not important. But I ended up being given the gift through my mom that I don't want to have memories of just hurts and disappointments and resentments archived as references for me in my latter years, because they'll bring me down. They won't lift my spirit when I maybe not have all my faculties at that time. So, you know, I encourage you to notice the feelings you're hanging out in, the stories that you're telling, and what you're reinforcing and how you're taking that with you in your relationships. Because other people, well, first you're paying the price because your world is small, you are, living in a low state of mind, and we never learn in our stories. We can only learn outside of our stories. So by you noticing a story, you've already seen something more, and you're more likely not to go to it or recognize it as oh, that's a story I'm making up. Or that's a feeling that makes me come down in how I feel. And do I want to do that? No. So see, notice, don't do anything, but just notice, is it true? How do my feelings affect me? Which ones do I hang out the most in? And do I want to archive these experiences for my latter years? I certainly don't. I want to have a good experience of life and, trust myself. And, if things don't work out in any area, they don't work out, but it's not the end of the world. I'm able to handle life, and so are you, because I'm no different to you. So see how you get on and what you notice. I'd love to hear what you observed and what makes sense to you. Thank you for listening. If you like the videos, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.